Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here live with round one of the OCM team trios. You see on your screen there, Tom at the top, he is playing Rakdos Scam.
Oh,
At the bottom of your screen, you see Dan. He is playing Merfolk,
ugh,
and
evoked grief right
it
away.
looks like Thomas started things off by evoking a grief.
Yeah.
We see a hand of Mistcaller. Svelion, is that how you pronounce her name? Svelion. I see an Ether Vial. I see a Beseiju and Merfolk Trickster.
Oh, Trickster. Yeah. It's like, that's not a Merfolk. Murktide Regent. That's a dragon. Now, so Scam, probably one of the most popular mid-range decks in the format right now. It sort of has game across the board. Merfolk just trying to get out real fast and get in under anything that the other deck is trying to do. So he evoked the grief and then was able to flicker it.
Yep, he brought it back into play with the
Undying Evil.
with the it's the one that brings it back to play tapped.
Okay. Either way, it's sort of a pretty clean two for two or 2-for-1 because you get the grief body. Are we done already?
No, I think he was just picking his hand up there.
Okay. I was like, yeah.
Looks like Mistcaller is going to hit the board for Merfolk.
Yeah.
He's going to pass back to Rakdos Scam.
That grief is gonna do some damage. Having evasion on it, definitely taken some life points down. What kind of interaction did we see from the Merfolk deck? Was there any counter magic, or I don't think we saw anything from it. Just bodies, right?
Nope.
Violent bodies.
Yep. So he discarded the Ether Vial and the Svelion, I believe. So
I
that will leave him with
Seiju,
like, Merfolk Trickster, and the Mistcaller that you saw hit the board there.
Yeah, we have an unknown. All right. Trickster. Is that Dominaria?
Merfolk Trickster?
Yeah.
I think that is from the first time that we returned to Dominaria.
Yeah, the Dominaria proper. I remember playing this in draft. It's actually just kind of insane.
Yeah, no, it's very good. On rate 2/2 for 2, and when it enters, you get to tap a creature. So he'll be able to tempo that grief, tap it down.
Yep.
And then add some additional power to the board.
You can also make creatures lose their abilities, which is not irrelevant, especially if you get a monkey down.
Sure.
If he plays any kind of.
Yep, and here you see the Merfolk Trickster going to come down and tap down that grief.
Yep. And it's going to lose all of its abilities, which is relevant, especially if he's attacking in. It'll lose menace.
Yeah.
Even if he just plays it as a flash blocker, they can sort of eat each other.
Trade. Yeah. I don't know if rattlesnaking the grief is a good idea with all of the undying spells that the Rakdos scam.
I'm pretty sure that we previously established I'm not good at magic.
Oh my goodness. Looks like Bloodstained Mire is going to get cracked, so we're going to find a basic swamp.
Yep.
I see a Mutavault has hit this side of the field on the Merfolk side.
Just another threat. That's a lot of bodies coming in that Tom really hasn't dealt with right now. Dan's building up, and his life total isn't really that low. He's at, 12? Or no, he's still in double digits, though. Looks like they're using the boogie boards out there, sort of hard to read.
Yeah, it looks like the legacy match has actually stolen our life tracker. So
that's fine.
We'll make sure we get that corrected moving forward.
Man, Merfolk has, especially as making his land drop. So Merfolk now effectively has 4 bodies on board with that Mutavault.
Yep.
And he can either start pressuring Tom's life total, or just hold up blockers, because now we can eat the grief. But I wonder if it's just a race situation now, right?
I mean, if it is a race situation, I'm going to put Merfolk supremely ahead of the Rakdos game deck.
Agreed. Unless Tom just starts, unless he unloads a Fury, which is sort of like game plan, like the mid to late game plan, just actually stick a Fury. Let's see, whose turn is it? Is it actually the Merfolk?
It's Merfolk's main phase.
Dan's main phase.
Looks like he's getting ready to go to combat.
Yeah, so this is sort of what we would mention, that if it is a race situation, it favors the deck that has creatures, and in this, or that is to say, like the most bodies, right?
Sure.
Because I don't think you block the grief.
What is this legendary Merfolk do?
SVEY.
I tried that already.
It's
It has a lot of text on it, and I have no idea what it does.
It's a MH2 card, Modern Horizons 2.
Yeah.
It's SVYELUN.
SVYELUN. SVYELUN.
Yeah.
There she is, Svellion of Sea and Sky. A legendary 3/4 for 3 mana. She has indestructible as long as you control at least 2 other merfolk, so she cannot be destroyed right now.
Notably, he does. And interestingly, he can activate that Mutavault to give himself at instant speed a second merfolk too.
Love it. Gotta love it. Whenever it attacks, draw a card.
Yep.
Other merfolk you control have ward 1. So a long time ago, Merfolk decks played Kira the Great Glass Spinner.
That's right, not a merfolk.
So Sveljun, however you say this, is a serious upgrade from Kira the Great Glass Spinner.
In terms of body, and in terms of like what it can do on board, like Great Glass Spinner had to sacrifice itself, right?
Yes.
So it was sort of a one-time use. This is a permanent protection.
Yes.
Plus a 3/4 body for 3 mana.
That is indestructible and draws you a card. The card is insane.
Yeah. This is such a huge get for Merfolk. And like, sort of okay, so here's interesting. He's got a Fury. He has to pay 1 for every single target.
Sure.
Of this.
Because of the Svellion.
Yeah. So
he is evoking the Fury, exiling another Fury from his hand.
Let's see if he pays for this.
Well, I believe the Mist Caller is going to muck things up a little bit, right? So you can sacrifice Mist Caller, and until the end of the turn, if a non-token creature would enter the battlefield and it wasn't cast, exile it instead.
Evoking is still casting, though, right?
Yes, I believe evoking is casting. Okay. So the Mist Caller is not actually going to do anything.
So he's probably asking how the interaction works now. All of his creatures do have ward 1.
Yes.
So if Tom is evoking this, he's basically going to have to tap out.
It looks like he chose to not sacrifice the Mist Caller. So good call.
Yeah. This is still going to... I think if he can pay for it, I don't think it's a bad deal.
Sure.
It's going to rule what he does with his turn. And we're just reading this now.
Yep, we've got Judge Bob over there. Looks like he's giving the card a read. Hands it back. Confirms this does not work the way that you want it to. Sorry to break it to you, Dan.
I love the judge rulings that are it works the way you want or it doesn't work.
It does not work the way you want.
Yeah, those are always my favorite ones.
Sorry about your luck, Dan.
Evoking, still casting.
But, I mean, the Svellion is still going to muck things up quite a bit here, right? He has to pay 1 for each target, so, he can pick off these Mist Callers one at a time. Plus, he could take down the Merfolk Trickster.
Yeah, and interestingly, if he doesn't pay for the 1 on every single one of his targets, it counters the entire ability.
Yes.
So, if any one of your targets has ward 1, you have to pay for all of those ward costs. Or it counters it.
You want to know something fun?
What's that?
So this has nothing to do with Modern, but last night I destroyed a lethal Phyrexian Flesh Gorger with a Council's Judgment, because Council's Judgment does not target and does not require me to pay the ward.
I have done the same thing with a ward creature with a Council's Judgment.
Yep. So it looks like he pays 3 and does pick off the Trickster, a Mist Caller.
And we're considering, so not that, he's taking...
both Mist Callers and the Trickster.
And he's going to Undying Evil it. Or
And now
what is that card?
the Fury is going to come back. I believe that is Undying Malice.
It's Undying Malice, but it's not going to come back because now he gets to sack the Mistcaller. So if a creature would enter the battlefield, it wasn't cast, exiled instead.
Yes.
So now he's basically mucking that play by Tom.
Sure.
Which is great, and he still has his Spheloon in play. Does not have Indestructible right now, but he has another Mutavault, so he can activate.
He can fire up 2 Mutavaults. Looks like he's tapping 2 mana. This is going to be a Lord. What is it called? Lord of Atlantis.
Lord of Atlantis.
Lord of Atlantis.
That looks to be a 4th edition Lord of Atlantis, and he's getting in with it. He's getting in with the Mutavault and the Spheloon.
I do love a Lord of Atlantis. Leaving up that blue mana there, so he will have the option in the future to animate a Mutavault at instant speed should somebody try to destroy his Spheloon.
Yeah, and Spheloon notably does not have Ward 1. It's just other Merfolk.
Other Merfolk, yes.
I really like
but
this matchup.
Can give it indestructible.
So, talking about this matchup in particular. So, we have what is effectively a fringe deck. That is Merfolk, right?
Yep.
And then what is also considered one of the best decks in the format right now, which is Rakdos Scam.
And it looks like Merfolk has taken that matchup down.
The actual delta in power and consistency between what is a fringe deck and what is a top-tier deck is very small when the players are good at playing their deck.
Yep. Vamp a second for me. I'm going to go get them to use that.
Yeah, so interestingly, when a lot of people look at Modern as a format, they consider it to be super high power, super fast, but understanding that everybody has the same tools. Even a fringe deck has all of the tools from Modern Horizons that every other deck does. And we don't necessarily see all of those Modern Horizons cards consistently, but like we saw Spheloon there, like that card is what won that game, ultimately, right? Like it was the card that...
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. Spheloon really made it impossible for his Fury to do anything.
Yeah.
I think that this Merfolk deck has really, really good counterplay. Mm-hmm. With the Mistcaller there stopping those Undying Malices and things.
Yeah.
And then the Spheloon really making it impossible for his removal spells, or not making it impossible, but making it a lot more difficult for his removal spells to be effective.
He can't even just. I'm betting Tom wanted to just cast that Fury, just hard cast it.
Yep. And then you've also got the creatures that can tempo him out, like the Merfolk Trickster. Right. You see there tapping the thing down so it couldn't get in. Really giving him the ability to kind of race. I just absolutely love the counterplay that a Merfolk deck can provide. So while these players get sideboarded here, we're going to have a real quick commercial break. We will be right back with Game 2 of Round 1 of the OCM Team Trios.
And we're back.
Both players have taken a mulligan to 6 here. We're going to see if they like their 6-card hands. We'll get off to the races.
Sort of fast sideboards, too, right?
We don't have access to their deck lists yet, but I'd be really interested to know what tools either of these deck has in their sideboards.
Agreed. I imagine some amount of additional removal or specific interactions. I don't know that Rakdos necessarily is sideboarding. Like, they're supposed to be the deck that, is just good mainboard, right? And I don't know what in sideboard they could have to deal with. Or, outside of, what is it? What is that card? The one that gives all creature types of 1 type -1/-1.
Oh, Plague Engineer.
Yeah. Do you think that they're playing Plague Engineer?
Bring in a Plague Engineer against the fish deck. I don't know that actually does anything. Most of the Merfolk are 2/2s.
Agreed.
So it looks like Scam has kept 6. Merfolk has kept 5. We are off to the races. So it looks like a evoked Grief.
So we've got
on turn 1 here from Rakdos Scam.
Probably not bringing in the Blood Moon.
So it looks like his draw is Island, Cavern of Souls, Lord of Atlantis, double Ether Vial. And the Lord of Atlantis is going to hit the bin, and Undying Malice going to bring back the grief
Yeah.
and take one of those ether vials out.
Do you think they go up engineered explosives?
Yeah. So Merfolk has a ton of 2-drops.
Agreed.
So playing an engineered explosives on 2, being able to kill multiple permanents with it does seem very, very good.
Yeah, and maybe additionally bringing in some additional 1-for-1 removal in terms of like Fatal Push or Terminate. They play a lot of main board. I think the hand attack is very upfront for them. So they probably just bring in some additional resources to deal with onboard threats, especially because, as we saw in the last game, Merfolk can draw so many cards.
Sure.
It's sort of hard for 1-for-1 hand attack to keep pace in terms of like Thoughtseize.
Well, right? I mean, that's kind of the power of this Rakdos scam deck. When your opponent get mulligans to 5 and you get a Thoughtseize them twice on turn 1. So, Merfolk's starting on 3 cards here. Yeah. Merfolk Tricks are going to come down and tap down the grief there.
Saw that play last game.
Yep. Merfolk Tricks are just a very good tempo-y card.
Yeah.
Right? It's gonna come down, tap your thing down, stop you from attacking for a turn, and then we'll see what happens after that.
Yeah, so taking up that Aether Vial.
Yep, we've got Aether Vial on 2 now.
We have multiple ways to sidestep counter magic. Here we've got the Cavern, naming Merfolk, I assume.
One would think.
Name humans, just blow them out.
One would think.
Svelun, also a Merfolk. Merfolk God, right?
Yes.
So I don't think that there are non-Merfolk in this deck. I wonder if they go up some additional amount of counter magic, spell pierces, stuff like that. We're tapping down a land.
No, that is a Merfolk Tideshaper.
Oh, he's making it an island.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's excellent. He's floating mana in response. Wonder if he's got a terminate in hand or a. Does it permanently stay an island?
When Tideshaper enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, target land becomes an island for as long as Tideshaper remains on the battlefield.
That's incredible. Yeah, they're marking it. Okay.
And then
top it untapped.
And then it also gets +1/+1 as long as your opponent controls an island. So it's a 2-mana 2/2 that is also a, what do you call it?
Rising Tides, or
the enchantment that turns something into an island.
Rising Tides, or
this deck did used to play several copies of that card. Tideshaper really just, kind of an upgrade from Spreading Seas is what it's called.
Spreading Seas. Rising Tides, Spreading Seas. What's the difference, really?
You do see an Engineered Explosives. They're going to come down and take out the 1-drops. He's going to pass back to Merfolk.
I believe I called that one.
Yeah, Engineered Explosives is a very good sideboard card for Rakdos Scam.
What's really funny is turning that land into an island allows him to play Engineered Explosives on 3 now.
Well, it's not an island anymore because the Tideshaper's gone.
Taking all the fun away. So the other play there is if that is an island, Lord of Atlantis providing Merfolk islands just sort of make things unblockable.
Right. Yep. Like I said, Tideshaper just a strict upgrade from Spreading Seas.
Yeah, you want that as a body, right? Like, it's a 2/2 for 1 that also knocks their mana and makes your creatures effectively unblockable.
Sure.
Because as funny as it sounds, is that a Kira?
That is a Kira the Great Glass Spinner.
Kira the Great Glass Spinner, apparently still running that. Original Kamigawa, right?
Yeah, Kira the Great Glass Spinner, creatures you control have, whenever this creature becomes a target of a spell or ability for the first time each turn, counter that spell or ability.
Oh, I thought it was a one-time thing. This is actually just insane. So it is a legendary creature, only get one of them in play. But
it appears that he is explaining some sort of scenario. I'm not sure. Perhaps this Kira is on the stack and we paused here.
I wonder if Tom's going to respond to this, because it'll be a good time to eliminate one of his.
Well, it is on the table now. Perhaps this Kira has resolved. I wonder if this Kira isn't a sideboard card, because it does seem very, very good against this deck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
Additional. It's basically additional copies of Svelun, right? I don't think that Kira is as good as Svelun is, but additional copies of Svelun against a deck full of Furies.
Yeah, or Fatal Pushes or whatever.
Yeah, it seems totally reasonable.
Yeah, it doesn't get around engineered explosives.
It does not, no.
But we've already seen one hit the bin. There's
Sure.
probably only 3 that he brought in.
If that, yeah.
And Scam doesn't really draw a lot of cards, right? Like, it's sort of operating in top deck mode a lot of the time. And that's sort of why it requires the density of powerful spells.
Looks like a double block on the Grief here.
Sort of.
So both creatures going to hit the bin, Grief going to hit the bin,
Yeah.
and we are back to an empty board. Rakdos Scam going to sacrifice a Bloodstained Mire, go down to 13, find himself a swamp.
Yeah. What is he? What's Dan on right now? What's the Merfolk player on? His life
total?
Yeah.
I believe it is.
Some amount.
I think it is a single-digit number. I can't tell.
Okay. Yeah, sort of hard to tell.
Hang on just a second. Let me pop out there. I will.
As much as we try to mitigate these kind of issues, it's sort of impossible to not have player issues. Especially when we're running a Team Trios event where there's so many players. Is somebody's bouncing into the tent.
So Dan was at 8 there. You saw Svelian hit the board, and then Tom hardcast a Fury to destroy the Svelian, and now players are going to go to game 3.
That's reasonable. And it was interesting. You walked out there just in time. You're like, "You dead?" And you're like, "Yeah, we're dead." Going to game 3.
So, what are sideboard options maybe for the Merfolk deck?
I'm actually trying to look this up right now. So, modern Merfolk has sort of been around for a long time. It's seen a lot of different permutations. Merfolk is both a legacy and a modern deck.
Yes, used to be one of my favorite legacy decks a long time ago.
Yeah. So we've got Curse Catcher and Counterspell.
Of course,
Counterspell just. It depends on the kind of matchups you're running into. I don't know if you bring it in here, but I could see it, like especially countering.
I don't think Counterspell is where you want to be against the like heavy value Rakdos deck, where their whole thing is 2-for-1s.
Right.
They're going to 2-for-1 you as many times as possible until you can't kill their thing anymore.
Yeah.
So putting in a spell that's going to intentionally trade for them, try to trade 1-for-1 for them, probably not the best sideboard plan. Curse Catcher, potentially. I don't really know if that's where you want to be. It looks like
Silvergill Adept. It's just sort of a.
I don't know that Silvergill Adept is very common in Merfolk sideboards.
That's sort of the hyper aggressive.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like a very common card for me. Harbinger of the Tides.
Don't play that. You don't want to bounce their creatures back to their hand. That's actively bad.
Harbinger of the Tides probably not where you want to be. No. You're going to put those creatures back into their hand.
It does feel like they're sort of limited.
I don't know that was a very good example of a Merfolk sideboard list. Things that I'm thinking about are like Dismember,
Chalice of the Void.
Dismember, Chalice of the Void. Yeah, those are the kind of things that I was thinking about. This looks more reasonable to me.
Subtlety.
Subtlety is good. I think it is good in the invoke creature mirror match. So
it puts it back on top. If it put it back in hand, I don't think you want.
Does Grafdigger's Cage stop Undying Malice and stuff?
Creature cards in graveyards and libraries can't enter the battlefield. Correct.
So it does, yeah. So maybe we see some Grafdigger's Cage.
I don't hate that.
Players are off. Merfolk started with a Mistcaller. Scam bolted the Mistcaller, and then Merfolk just played a Mutavault, passed. Scam plays land and passes. End of turn, it looks like we're going to flash in a Merfolk Trickster.
Yep. Trickster, just sort of like an all-around great card.
Get on board here. Yeah. So it's a flash threat. It has a lot of tempo utility. I think it's a great card. Another island going to come down.
We're seeing the snow-covered islands from Legacy sort of pushing in there.
Yeah, Legacy has, on this table, these tables are not great for playing teams. The Legacy seat has about 16 inches of space to use.
Unfortunately.
So, Legacy, maybe not requiring as much board space as Modern or
Yeah.
Pioneer might, so they get the short end of the stick, as it were. But a Mutavault and a Merfolk Trickster are going to chrome across here.
He's really hammering his life total. I think that's what you want to do, right? You want to pressure.
That is typically how you win a game of Magic in the Gathering.
I think Tom can recover so quickly. Like the Rakdos scam deck can in one turn do so many things.
Sure.
That if you're not pressuring them, they're just going to take their time. And like we said, they don't draw a lot of cards. So the more turns you give them, the more gas they're going to have in hand to do whatever they want with it. And Merfolk just kind of has to hit the NOS here, go into overdrive, kind of. We got 4 cards revealed on bottom, not revealed but represented. I think Rakdos asked cards in hand, about to evoke a grief.
Dathi Voidwalker are going to hit. That's a new one. We haven't seen that one yet this matchup.
It's a 3/2 for black.
Dathi Voidwalker, another very good card in these Rakdos scam decks because it has an ability that lets you sacrifice it, and then you can use an Undying Malice or something like that to bring the Dathi Voidwalker back to play. Also has evasion and shadow.
Yeah, that evasion sort of, I would say one of the least acknowledged powerful modes of this card is just, we just got some beaters in. It does not block, notably.
Yeah, that is another Lord.
That's a lot of damage coming in. We're down to 7 for Rakdos right now. Merfolk of the Pearl Trident.
No. Merfolk of the Pearl Trident is a 1/1 for 1. I cannot remember the
Master of the Pearl Trident, I think.
I cannot remember the Master of the Pearl Trident. I don't know if that's correct either.
It is. It's Master of the Pearl Trident.
You are correct. It is Master of the Pearl
I have
Trident.
this card.
Looks like we are going to evoke a Fury
and try to take out some of these threats. That's reasonable.
I don't really think that there's anything that the Merfolk deck can do about this.
Subtlety,
right
maybe.
Sure.
I think a subtlety is your best bet for Merfolk. He's probably I don't know that he has it in hand.
Yeah, that's just going to clean up the board. So both of these cards are going to go underneath the Dathi Voidwalker.
Yeah, and should not be in the graveyard there.
Hang on, let me.
We're just gonna. Oh no, they got it.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know that Tom is looking to cast them, but definitely looking to get in. So Tom at 7 now, sort of established a board position. We've got a cavern coming down. We've got 2 caverns on board.
Merfolk with very few cards in hand.
2?
Probably. I think he has 3. Firing up a Mutavault here. Tom is at a very low life total. And this Mutavault could absolutely go the distance.
Yeah. I think as long as Dan's life total is okay high, he can race here. He could flash in a Merfolk Trickster and just get there.
Sure.
Right? End of turn, flash in Merfolk Trickster or before combat, flash in Merfolk Trickster, tap down the Fury. What do we got there?
That is another Tide Shaper.
Tide Shaper, yeah. So he's gonna bring it in, kick it.
Maybe that is not a Tide Shaper, actually.
We got a Trickster. It's not a Trickster. Not a Mist Caller. Yeah, it's a Tide Shaper.
Did he kick it?
I don't think so. I think he's holding up blue for Merfolk Trickster.
Well, wouldn't that be sweet?
I think we're actually going to see that. He's going to Trickster in, tap it down. Next turn, he's got lethal.
Yep.
Because notably, that Dathi Voidwalker, while it is unblockable, it is also unable to block with Shadow.
Sure.
Yeah, it's. I wonder if he's actually attacking with the Fury. He's probably holding it up to block.
I think we're at a point where Rakdos cannot afford to give up any life points that it doesn't have to.
3 through with double strike, and here it is. Yep. Called that.
There's the Merfolk Trickster going to target this Fury, I would imagine, try to tap it down. And we'll see if Scam has an answer. We are going back to Dan's turn.
He's at 5. He's got the. Let's see if he's got it. He does have 4 lands untapped.
Yep.
So the question is, does Dan go for it? He's got lethal. He animates that. I think he's just considering his options right now, right?
Well, the beauty about this is that he does not die on the crackback.
Right. Even if he goes all in. Let's see.
Yep, we're
Oh,
just
there
getting
it
in with
is.
everybody.
Yep.
There's the handshake.
What a match!
Merfolk gonna take it down.